everybody. I'm Steph.
Michael.
And it is Sunday, and we are starting our new recap of what happened last week for the games that we played.
That's right.
And so this is just episode 2 of that, I suppose.
Yep.
And we have a lot of games to talk about.
That's right. And we do have something special to talk about. We had somebody contact you.
Yep. So it's kind of known amongst gamers and people who know me that I like to buy collections. So I was contacted to buy a collection. So Michael and I drove out to North Carolina about 7 to 8 hours.
7.5 hours.
And so we took a day trip on Friday to go out there, pick up the collection, and then immediately U-turn and come home. So that was a very, very, very long day. So we did not play any games that day.
That's right.
But we did get
Matter
to drive.
Matter of fact, I had to take a day off of work just to take the day trip. It was literally there and back. I called it shortest convention ever.
Yeah. 30 minutes inside of a guy's house clearing out his games and driving home.
Yep. And we loaded everything up, and it literally looked like coming home from a convention.
Yeah.
Except no luggage. And the car was not packed full to the brim. It was packed.
It was full for most people.
It was full for most people. It was not. It was not packed.
We have little games, so most of the games were bigger games, stuff that are really attractive to buyers and stuff.
2 copies of Antiquity,
for example. But it was a nice drive out there because we went through the Smoky Mountains, and you get to see all the clouds and the trees, and it's pretty. So it was a good drive.
That's right.
It was a good trip.
So as we were, loading games up into the bins and the bags, I noticed a game called Age of Renaissance that the guy pointed it out. He said that's one of the last games Avalon Hill ever made. And I looked at it, and it said Civilization in the Middle Ages. And I took a look at the back of it, and I'm like, those are Civ trade cards, where you collect sets of things and then turn them in for the trade value to advance your civilization. I'm like, this is Civ. And I had never heard of this before for some weird reason. Civilization being a game from Avalon Hill in the 1980s.
Yeah, one of your favorites.
It is one of my only 2 10-rated games. Hey, Dutch Yoda.
Thanks for rating us.
So I'm like, yes, please. I want this. Never played, obviously. So I'm looking forward to playing that. It plays at lower player counts than Civ.
Okay.
So it is possible that we could play it. We'll look at
one and see how it goes.
We'll see.
It seems like it's pretty long still, and
yes,
not exactly my favorite type of game.
Civ is long. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I enjoy Civ, so I need to at least give this a shot and take a look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a gem in the collection. Off the top of your head, what were some of the games?
I don't know.
I remember Barrage.
Yeah, that was in there.
Fire in the Lake.
Village, Russian Railroad, some of the classics, if you will, staples that people should have in their collection if they like Euro games, that is. So he had a bunch of those like Praga, and then he had a bunch of GMT games that like Falling Skies or something. I don't know. So a lot of GMT titles.
Yes.
So there was a lot of good stuff in the collection, so I'm excited to look through it. We haven't even gone through it yet because we had game day yesterday, so we didn't really have time at all.
Keyflower, Key Harvest, Key
Yeah, market.
All the keys.
Not all of them, but 3 of them.
Yes. and 2 expansions.
So yeah, it was worth the trip to go out there, pick up all these great games, and yeah, it was fun to just drive. And I mean, Michael's like,
No.
no,
Not Keyblade.
not Keyblade, no. But I'm glad we went.
Yes.
So that was fun.
We needed to do it.
Yep.
So
Now, for those who just came in with the raid, we are doing our weekly recap and starting with Monday Game Guildies. Really, we played Flip 7 on Game Guildies. We played a couple games online with the chat, and that was super fun. Totally crazy playing with a whole bunch of people, but it handles a bunch of people well, so it was good to play.
Yep, I won one game, and Sweet Amy won another.
Yep. Amy and I have been playing Digit Code, Sweet Amy and I. So a couple more games of that. I think she beat me both games, so I'm going to put a pause on that one for now till I get my groove back.
Yeah, speaking of Legend was talking about Keyforge. Wigsby's really into
he loves Keyforge.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
I went to Tuesday game night.
Yes.
You did not play.
No.
So we played Castles of Magic Ludwig because it's funny. When certain people come, it's always like a certain number of people. So like when Keith comes, it's always 5. So no matter what, Keith is like the 5th player.
Always.
Oh, he's never there with more or less. It's always 5. So we always have to find a 5-player game. And everybody begrudgingly hates that. I don't mind 5-player games, but they all hate 5-player games. Anyway, it's funny because when Neil comes, is always like 6 or 7, so there's automatically 2 tables. Like Neil gets 6.
Both of my favorite games play great at 5.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So we played Castle Mac and Ludwig, which is great because that actually showed up on BGA, so I've been playing the heck out of that. And loving it. Love it. And so that is always a great 5-player game that you haven't even played yet. So we should probably do that at some point. Then we left, except for Sweet Amy, Jonathan, and I, and we played 8 hands of Fellowship of the Ring. Sweet Amy is not a trick taker. She thinks she's a noob, and so she has this like crutch that she's like, well, I'm not good at trick taking, and so we lost some games, but I'm not blaming her. It's like you're learning, so she's
got to learn the strategies.
Yeah, but I'm like, teach you. It's like if you can understand that, you can understand this.
100%.
So we played. I think we got through level 5. And then the final game of the night was Finspan, which is good to get back to the table. It's a recent game that we've played that I've enjoyed, and it's easy. In my opinion, I haven't played it in several months, but it's easy to relearn and teach because they hadn't played it since I taught them the first time. I don't even think I've played it since the last time I taught them. So, but the game isn't hard to get back into, so that's good. So then we got to Wednesday, and we played a couple games that we then played on Wednesday's stream, like Pina Coladice. Pina Coladice.
Yes. Yahtzee style, just trying to
get positioning on the map to get Connect 4.
That's right. Yahtzee Connect 4.
it gives me that nostalgia feeling, which is really great because it reminds me of like a couple games from my childhood. So it's nice that it's a quick Yahtzee style dice checker because it definitely doesn't outstay its welcome, which is nice. I don't know if you liked it as much as me, but
it's fine.
I think it was a lot of fun. And then we played Square One, which is like the follow-up to
Project L.
Which both games I think are fine. I really
You
didn't.
might actually show it. It's at least it's down in the
Oh yeah, we'll
pile.
stream it for sure. It does not wow me at all. It's very, very bland and basic. I don't see what people love about that or Project L. I don't get it, I guess. It's just okay for me.
It's fine.
And I'll play it again, but after that, probably not gonna play it again.
That's fair.
And so we also played a couple games of First Class Letters, which is a new word game and with dice. So I think I really like the game, but it has faults in that the dice can have repetitive combinations. So it would have been better as a card randomization, deal 3 cards and one special letter card
Right.
each round versus
Because
just
you'll never
rolling
get
dice.
yeah, you'll never get if there are 2 letters on a die, you'll never get those 2 letters at the same time.
Right. So I like it. I do wish they didn't use dice. That's the only thing. I like words.
It's the gimmick.
Yeah, I like Wordsy a lot because you can come up with whatever word you want, and it has that kind of flexibility and freedom. It also has the restriction of having to put words in alphabetical order. So once you have no more A through K available, well then you're limited on your words.
Yeah, that part is really interesting.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But I think the fault is that you are going to get the same dice combinations. And
Right.
that is.
And while it is not very likely that it will happen, you're going to have 7 dice rolls in the span of a game, and there are only 216 unique combinations, not counting the bad letter, right?
Yeah.
So the chances of you rolling one of those 2 of the 216 combinations within 7 or 14 or 21 different rolls, pretty high.
Well, like we had when we streamed it, we even saw the same combination that we saw earlier that day. So it's like, really?
Right. Well, so there's a thing in IT called the birthday paradox. You might think that it is really difficult to find 2 people with a matching birthday in a group of people. But because 366 sometimes days in a year.
Right.
Right. So how many people do you think you need in a room to have a good chance that there are 2 people with the same birthday?
I think it's pretty good. I think probably I would say 152 people. I don't know.
It's as low. I think it's like 29.
Really, 29?
Yes, it's super low.
There are months of the year that are way more heavily populated with birthdays.
Right, but even regardless of that, it is.
I was thinking about a little under half, but
23 people.
Wow.
There is a greater than 50% chance of a shared birthday. So,
wow. That is crazy.
So, and that's with 365 different birthdays. If you're talking 216 dice combinations, then the chances of you hitting 2 identical combinations also probably fairly high. So,
I mean, every day if I were to look on Facebook, there's always 2 or more people that have a birthday that day. So
right.
I don't. Sometimes it's 15, and I'm like, wow, it's a lot of people's birthday today.
But that same logic can be applied to statistical analysis for things like board games. So those are some of the things that you look at. Yeah, obviously, if your birthday's February 29th, that does skew it a little bit.
Of course. Yes, that would skew it a little bit. But I think that's pretty interesting.
What happened, Wim? Wim says he had something weird happen to him this weekend when rolling for start player. We've had it happen where we like roll the same number over and over and over. What was it? We had 4 or 5 identical ties on start player, like rather recently.
It's true.
Yeah, and you had the same number 8 times in a row. Things like that happen.
Yeah.
But the chances of rolling exactly the same thing rather low. So we also played. So we played on stream. We played Babylon, First Class Letters, Hutan, Pina Colada Ice, and Treasure of the Dragons.
Well, we're up to Babylon, which
Babylon was on stream.
yeah.
So I'm just saying, if they want
But if
to
you
watch that,
share your opinion, you can.
oh yeah, I can share my opinions. No, Babylon is fine. It is rather abstract. I enjoyed being able to get to level 4.
Yeah. So I posted a picture of Babylon, and I got a couple responses from people who saw it saying too fiddly, or we had to cull it from the collection because of, it is particular how you set things up, and yeah, you could ruin a game by being clumsy, and so that is something to consider.
It is not as functional for the sake of being pretty.
I know, but it's so pretty. Doesn't
That's
bother
what
me.
happens.
Me.
The initiative dragon. Nice. So there's something interesting we learned after the fact about the games we played on stream. Matter of fact, we learned this yesterday during game day.
Okay.
James had mentioned we saw something that said that it was a Mensa award winner and this award and that award. And so James looks to see who won the 2025 Mensa awards this year. And like 2 or 3 of the games on the stream that we just
streamed.
Hutan made the Mensa award.
Yeah.
Treasure of the Dragons got the 2025 Mensa award. Let me see if that's all of them.
Yeah, we played both of those
on the same stream.
Hutan was great because it just showed up on BGA, so I got a game of that going with some friends. I really like it. I think it's a nice game. It's just I know you didn't really love it. It's a fine drafting game with you have to decide on how you want to place those flowers and try not to lose points because of it. I think it's a nice game. So, I've really enjoyed playing Hutan.
Agueda, City of Umbrellas.
Okay.
25th century game.
Beautiful game.
Diatoms, also 25th century game.
We need to play that still.
Farms Race Deluxe Edition. Hutan by the Op. Actually, it says Hutan by USAopoly. No, it's called the Op.
Now it is, yeah. I mean, I think it still goes by USAopoly, but it's the Op.
But yeah, no. In the Footsteps of Marie Curie by Hachette. Plundering Times by Simply Fun, and Treasure of the Dragons by Fox Mind.
Oh, we got Marie Curie down there.
Oh yeah, so we have 3 of them
on the pile.
I mean, like right here, you know.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty interesting, though. He was reading about that.
Yeah, and it's like as he was calling them out, I'm like, wait a minute,
we just played that.
Stream that.
We just played that. We played that. So yeah, it was a good stream. I finished up a game of Acropolis with Amy on BGA with the expansion, which was interesting. I like what the expansion has to offer. I haven't played it in person, so it's kind of hard to like really understand it, but I read it and I ended up not using much of the expansion at all, and I crushed her. So maybe the old ways are the best ways. I don't know. We'll see. I have to play that one more. I do love Acropolis. It was a go-to filler for me and my Tuesday group for a while, so we'll have to bring that one back out and play that some more. Now we talk about game day.
Game day's best day ever.
Game day, best day ever. Because Friday we were out of town, so Saturday we played. The first game we played was Loot and Loaded.
Loot and Loaded. So that was a lot of that. It got our, our brains thinking and our blood pumping,
and our Nerf gun shooting, because it comes with 2 Nerf guns.
Pretty cool.
It's funny because we're taking practice shots. We're trying to hit the bottle in the middle of the table. Susan missed it and went and hit SOS Titanic and just stayed there. Oh, Titanic. It's really funny.
Hey, Dan. Yes. So basically, there are a number of things up for offer equal to player count. So we deal out 4 treasures, right? And the game has enough cards in it so that you can always have a different variety when you're playing. So it's not just the same set collection game each time.
Which I like that.
Yes.
And you don't know if you're even going to see the last flower or not because of how cards are happening and there's a set number of rounds.
The game lasts 10 rounds. So you're going to set your little dial to the one of the 4 cards, because for us it was 4 different things for offer. We set our dials to the thing we want. Then we reveal at the same time. If you've got a matched number, then you can't take the treasure. If you are alone in wanting that treasure, you get it. If there are 3 or more, that's way too many. And so you're going to have to retry again. If you all go to the same location again, 3 or more people, you get nothing but a white flag.
Which is still points.
It's still points.
It's not.
You actually are collecting white flags at that point.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. You could be stuck with a card that's worth 0 points, perhaps.
Exactly.
Or you could get a white flag, which could be a couple points.
Could be better. Now, if you have exactly 2, then you're going to do a rock, paper, scissors style of duel, right? So I think red beats green beats blue beats red. One of them is a beat anything, and one of them automatically starts a duel. The one that beats everything and the one that starts a duel are one-time use in the game only. But consider there's only 10 rounds in the game. You might as well
use it if you want the card.
So, anytime, let's say Steph and I wanted the same thing, we reveal 2. Oh, we both want number 2. So, it's not too many. It's exactly 2 of us want it. So, now we go to the duel. Rock, paper, scissors. And if we have the same exact card, let's say it's red and red,
yep,
then we go to a duel. You can have the guns cocked and loaded or not at all, or whatever combination in between, right? Guns equidistant, and somebody else just says, draw. You reach out, get the gun, load it if you have to. You cock it with a little pull on the holster. You have to have your hand and the gun beyond the plane of the playing surface, and you're trying to hit this cardboard bottle. It's this big, literally, and it's basically a cardboard cutout and a cardboard cutout in a little T shape, if you know what I'm talking about, just sitting there in the middle of the table. So it's not a round bottle, it's this double square cardboard thing. So you're just trying to hit the bottle, and if you're the first to hit the bottle, you get the card. If you don't, you're going to get a white flag. Anyway, you do lather, rinse, repeat for 10 rounds. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's cute. So
it's interesting.
Once we get Sweet Amy here, we'll play it with 3 because I think it will be better with 3.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cute. I liked it.
Yep. And that was on the review stack.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's why we'll play it on stream.
So Then we played one from the closet.
This was his choice.
Well, I like to play games that work better at higher player counts.
Mm-hmm.
And this needed it. And it's called Spy Alley.
It's an older game.
Yes. It has
98.
it has two mechanics that are not seen in modern games. Roll and move. And by roll and move, I don't even mean as advanced as Talisman, where you can go 2 or 3 different directions. I mean, you are going clockwise. You roll the die, that's where you're going. So
It has a sorry
it
pun.
actually has sorry pawns.
Sorry. It reminded me of that.
And 2, player elimination. So, on your turn, you're going to roll the die and do the thing. It's a hidden role game where you are a German spy, Italian spy, Spanish spy, French spy, American spy, or Russian spy. Right?
Yeah.
In order to win, you need the password of your let's say I'm the Russian spy. I need the Russian password, the Russian code book, the Russian disguise, and the Russian key.
Without being called out.
Without being called out for being the Russian spy. So you're trying to collect a little bit of everything. Passwords, they're cheap. They're $1. Disguises are $5. Code books are 15. Keys are 30. So things are really expensive. So you're traveling along. Midway through the game board, there is an alley called Spy Alley. This is where you ultimately go to escape to your embassy when you've got everything. So if you go into Spy Alley and somebody comes along behind you, they can try to eliminate you by guessing what your role is. There's one particular space. If you get lucky and hit it, then you can freely guess what that person is. Are you the German spy? And if you are, you're out. You're eliminated. Normally, you can give up your turn at any point in the game to make an accusation. But if you're wrong, you're eliminated. If you're right, the other player's eliminated.
And whoever.
But that's a free guess when you're in Spy Alley.
Yeah, but you can only guess people who are also in Spy Alley. Only.
With the spy eliminator in Spy Alley. That's why I said if you go in Spy Alley, someone can follow along behind you.
Yeah,
and call you and guess. Here's the thing. All 4 of us ended up in Spy Alley. James hit the spy eliminator space and got to guess everybody in Spy Alley for free.
Spanish.
Are you the Spanish? Are you the Spanish? He missed all 3 of us, but he could have hit.
Yeah, he could have easily hit.
But fortunately, I didn't have to worry about getting Spanish stuff anymore. So
that's true.
Anyway, the game shows its age, but we played it.
It was really not good. I really didn't care for it at all.
It was fine for what it was.
The game would be like, "Are you American?" And you could have been like, "Yes" or "No," and then you would have been out. Or I would have been out. It's not a good mechanic.
Did you win?
Like it. Somehow I won. And I still don't like it. So
no, it wasn't me. It wasn't Milton Bradley. Let's find out. View on BGG. It is 4 publishers: Eddie's Games Inc., NW Dam and Son, Spy Alley Partners, and Toyco.
Dan says, I never played it back in the day because it didn't sound that good.
Would rather play Conspiracy, yeah.
Yeah, it was not. But I don't hate that I played it. And we played a worse game the same day.
Well, we'll get
to that. No spoilers.
Not yet, anyway. Then we played Gimbap, which is down here. We'll play it.
But I don't really want to play it I'm not good at it. I'm really not good at it.
It is
So I
um
don't think I successfully made one gimbap the whole game.
it's a dexterity pattern matching game.
It's dexterity, 100%. You say pattern, and everybody else at the table said pattern. No, I can understand the patterns just fine, and I can't do it because it's dexterity. So yes, it is definitely 100% dexterity. And if you can't do it, you can't roll it, then too bad for you.
Too bad for you.
So it did not really work for me. Other people probably find it cute, but
And the materials that the components are made from, they're going to wear out over time.
yeah, okay,
100%.
one of the designers also made Fold It, which was actually a much better game because that's actually with like a cloth. You're folding the cloth to make the patterns. So Fold It was actually I actually liked Fold It quite a bit, but this one not so
So
much.
we'll see that.
We'll stream. I won't be as harsh during the stream, but it's just didn't work for me. So
And then we played Animals Gather, where you are trying to roll dice to make your animals that have all gone extinct. You're trying to recreate the animals. And if you recreate the animals, then you get those animals' special powers. And at the end of the game, when someone has created 5 animals, then you score everything up. That it's just a dice chucker game.
yeah, it doesn't seem that special. It was fine.
It's fine.
Um,
WWBG.
the powers didn't seem all that balanced, but hard to say. I would play it again. We will play it again. After that, I'm not sure. So we'll see.
Dan wants to revive his idea of a game where you wrap Christmas packages called Rap Battle.
I would win. I'm very good at wrapping presents.
Yeah. I mean, when you do it for a job. Yeah, just like that.
Mm.
Then we played Stamp Swap. It's up there.
Yeah, too bad.
From Stonemeyer. Too bad. From Stonemeyer. This one was pretty good. It is drafting with I Split You Choose.
I had played it several times before, maybe 2 or 3 times before, so I was already familiar with the game. I really like the game.
Dan says Dan's feeling is where I am with it. I want to like it more. There, so with drafting and then I split you choose, something is lost in that because you're not getting the stuff you drafted. The stuff you drafted could be going to other people. So
Yeah, but that's what you have to plan for. Be like, okay, I'm gonna make this super juicy for Susan, and then she'll leave me what I want. Or
no,
you
what
draft one thing you really want that you put it in your reserve.
what ends up happening is you draft everything for yourself, and hopefully nobody wants it, so you get both halves.
That's happened to me too.
Which happens.
And then I was like, wow.
Or what happens if you do it the way you just said is all the stuff that I drafted for you, you really like Susan's more. And so I don't want the stuff I've made really pretty for you. And you didn't take it. So no one takes that one. Everyone takes the thing I wanted, and I get stuck with the stuff I drafted for you. No, I don't want to do that.
I understand, but that, you work around it.
I want to like it more than I do. I like what it's trying to do. I'm willing to give it another try.
Yeah, we'll play it with Sweet Amy on stream in the future.
And
I still really like it. And, it could be one of my 5-player games on a Tuesday night when we have Keith. It actually works pretty well the time.
To be fair to your Tuesday group, when I went and we played The Great Split, they seemed to all really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's on Jonathan's shelf, so we could easily play that. I think the problem is they all want to play like a 4-player Lacerda game. They'll want the big, heavy, long slogs, and I'm like, well, it doesn't always have to be like that. I'm willing to play a lot of the time, but he needs more 5-player, like heavy Euros.
And then we played the best game of the night, followed by the worst game of the night.
Yes. Worst game of the month. Maybe even worst game of the year.
Dan says, you could just say Amy because we know you're not going to play with Duchess randomly, but you do actually.
Yeah, I play
You
with
play
Duchess
with BGA,
online. We could, yeah. I mean, so just to be clear, sweet Amy.
That's right.
Then everybody knows I'm talking about that Amy.
Sweet Amy.
The Amy's.
Yeah, but we talk about BGA stuff sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
So we played Power Grid Outpost. And so
I had played in March.
yes, so it is not new to you.
No, but I really loved it then, and I love Outpost. It's one of those games that I just don't play.
Except this is not half Power Grid and half Outpost.
This is like 90% Power
It's
Grid.
90% Power Grid.
And
it's almost like 95% Power Grid
like
with the theming of Outpost.
Like a little bit of flavor of Outpost.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Hardly anything mechanically of Outpost. Everything's mechanically Power Grid.
Cards are properly named, but yeah. I mean, like, for instance, the robots, right? Like, that's Outpost.
Yeah, but ultimately it's just more workers. And that's so in Power Grid, you're trying to take your coal or oil or nuke or whatever the resource is to power your power plants. All of that has been consolidated into one resource, workers. And if you assign workers to the power plant, you're making power. So Dan describes it as Power Grid with Outpost flavor on top, and that is what it is. Yeah. It's a simplified Power Grid.
More Outpost in it. However, that being said, for someone who hasn't played Power Grid, I think this is a great place to start. So
for sure.
For Susan had never played Power Grid, and that's one of James's favorite games. So it was actually not bad for her to play this one. I'm not sure she liked it, but it didn't seem like she hated it. Right. So there is that.
Not like we hated the next game.
Well, no, but this game is it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I like trying to bid for the cards I want and, or pass on things, hoping something better will come out for what I'm trying to do.
Which works almost identically to Power Grid.
Of course. And so I do appreciate that. Now, James had mentioned, because this was his first time playing Power Grid Outpost, that he was having a hard time getting the power plants part of it because all that was out there were the habitat cards. So that usually never happens in Power Grid. You can't have that happen in Power Grid. So he was finding it a little bit more restraining on actually getting the green
cards. You gotta jump for them when they're there.
And overpay if you have to.
Because he was getting his workers at a huge discount because they're robots, instead of workers. And so you've got to take that money you invested and go a little bit heavier on the power plants.
That's right. I think it's great. I'm glad you had fun. Because we will definitely play that with Sweetie and you. Which will be a 3-player for sure.
Definitely on one of the top games of the month.
Yeah, really fun.
So yeah, for sure.
And then Michael's like, let's play this.
And so it's another game from the closet. Again, it's a game that needs more players to be good, because it is a deduction / co-op, maybe semi-co-op game called Crimson Creek. Not provided by the publisher because it's just from the closet. One that's been sitting for years.
We got it at a flea market sometime at some point.
And so in Crimson Creek, it's basically a callback to the 1980s horror films where you go to Camp Crystal Lake or something, and oh look, Jason is here and killing everyone. So in Crimson Creek, you are traveling around areas, and there's only like 7 areas in the game. A central location, 6 spaces around, and everything adjacent are connected. So that's basically all you have to visualize in your head for the locations. One of those 7 locations is Klein's lair. Klein is the Jason of this thing. So Klein is killing people or attacking people. You have to find out his lair before 3 attacks happen, before the end of the 3rd attack. Every time you take your turn, which is 2 actions, you are going to possibly inch closer to an attack. The attacks are definitely going to happen within 5-player actions. So let's think about this in a 4-player game. You're going to probably get 1 action or 1 pair of actions before he attacks. And when he attacks, if you're in his location, you are going to be eliminated. You might be able to find information that leads you to where his lair is, or where it is not, rather, because it's sort of Clue-esque in that you can look at one of the envelopes and that is where he is not. But he could attack there, but that's not where his lair is. So, you are just basically trying to stay alive while also trying to find out if one of the players at the table might be possessed by this killer. It turns out none of us were, but that was irrelevant because none of us found out where the lair was before that 3rd attack. And that was supposed to be Act 1. There's 2 more acts after that. We never got that far because we could not find out where the lair was because you just don't have enough actions. So, looking on Board Game Geek, the guy that created and self-published this game is super defensive about all of the computer simulations and playtesting that he did on this game. And when people point out to him, look, you really don't get many actions to figure stuff out, and it's really random, and you can get into some board game states where you can't possibly win. And we were almost in that situation where it was a 50-50 what we thought it was, and we couldn't figure it out because we just didn't have the information. But this guy is super defensive. It made me want to rate the game lower. But yeah, it's not making my top 10.
Let's make my bottom 1.
Avoid Crimson Creek.
Oh yeah,
That's what
it
we're
was real bad. It was really, really, really bad.
I need to get food, but I really want to know what was so terrible.
I like the next comment he said. The 80s called because they can't text.
That's right. They could send you an alpha page.
And someone also,
which is sort of like text.
In the comments that we were reading, someone's like, go play Camp Grizzly. And I'm like, yeah, that game is also terrible. But less terrible than this game.
I've heard good things about Camp Grizzly.
Oh, people love it. I don't. Not for me. So, I played one more game called Gnomes of Zavendor. Finished that up, and I learned that on BGA. So, I have no idea what I was doing. I read the rules, and I still have no idea. It's hard for me to visualize it on BGA if I haven't played it. So
that's why I don't like learning games the first time on BGA.
It makes sense. I had a lot of hard. So I would rather play it in person. I think I would like it. It's like a stock game with gems. So it's really cool. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah. So the good thing about
I had to.
The good thing about BGA is that it automates a lot of the things for you. The bad thing about BGA is that it automates a lot of the things for you.
That go up, and why did that go down, and how are we here? We're just here because it does it. So I'm like, how many rounds is it, or what are we playing? What's the game end trigger? I'm like, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, clicking buttons, and I scored fine.
You scored a number.
I scored over half of
What this happened?
the winning number. So yeah, it was something. I would play it again, but I'd want to play it in person for real. So otherwise, we didn't play anything today. You've been working, and so and I have an auction happening right now that I need to close tonight. So we'll be busy for the next couple days.
Which is good because I'm probably going to have to finish up stuff on my work. So
Oh, for sure. So we'll see what we get played this coming up week. Yeah, that is a good week of gaming. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
it's a little short.
It was a little
because we had a
last week. It's gonna be short because last week was like a week and a half of just like let's play all the games. So yeah, this week was definitely a bit loose, but there's always another week coming up.
Skimans. What games on BGA are people currently winging? Seven Wonders Architects and Lorenzo Il Magnifico here.
Wonders Architects pretty easy. Hopefully you'll figure it out.
Also, I've forgotten how to play Beer and Bread. We're winging it. Beer and Bread, another game we got from that guy's collection.
Yep, it's a good one.
Yeah,
I do like it.
So if you're looking for it, we can hook you up.
Happens. I generally don't wing it. Gnomes of Zavendar is really the first one I've ever really winged.
It does not show up on my board game stats.
Yeah.
But I think I've either heard of it or played it.
What?
Gnomes of Zavendar.
I mean, it's older. You probably played it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I've never played it, so it wasn't with me.
Right.
And it's not in the collection.
Right. Well, I haven't been doing BG stats. I started in like 2021. So, yeah.
Jelby says, "Who tan for me?" But I did watch Steph stream how to play. Yay!
There are several different Zavendar games.
Yeah, I know. I have another one. I think, or I have another gnome. The mining gnomes of mines. I don't know. We have that on the shelf.
Right, but this
the Zavendar. I mean, Scepter of Zavendar, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
It's been a long time since I played it, and I should probably play it again. But it is like Outposts. Maybe you would like it.
Maybe.
So we should play it.
Of course. So, is there anything on the immediate horizon coming up this week? Nothing you can think of.
Games.
Okay, we're gonna play games. So
plans. I don't know. I mean, and for tonight we'll play whatever we can from the pile, which is there's always something.
There's always something.
And otherwise I'm planning for a garage sale of board games.
That's right. We're gonna do that on Saturday.
So our game day might be canceled because of that. So
it depends on how well it goes.
Games played this week.
If we have very few people showing up, a lot of times, so people start garage sales like insanely early around here. I don't understand.
We're doing it.
We are because everyone else does it. It's like it starts at 7 and goes to like 1. It's like what?
Who wakes up at
Who wakes up?
Especially on a Saturday. That is not real time.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of hopefully some games that people around the neighborhood, want
find
to.
Interesting.
And we might find people who like board games.
That could be fun.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Yep. So that's the plan for this week. So far as I know.
And I'm gonna make a quick drive around and make sure no one's selling bookshelves.
Yeah, we could use more of those.
We
collect bookshelves like we collect games. So
matter of fact, I had to buy 2 cheapy bookshelves delivered from Walmart, little $30 bookshelves, in order to take the place of my collapsed bookshelf.
Oops.
It had way too many hardbacks on it.
Yeah.
The sides went out and the shelves went poof.
Yeah, I collapsed on him.
Anytime, Roller.
Thanks for that raid. Hopefully you're doing great. We are finishing up our recap of the week of all the games we played.
That's right.
And so it was a great week, and we'll be here again next week with probably a shorter list.
Well, we'll see.
We'll
I don't
see.
know. This one is pretty short, but
This is pretty short.
if you enjoyed this weekly recap and you like teaches and playthroughs, we've got a whole bunch of them on YouTube. Just search for us at Board Gamer Steph. Hey, that's you. Or even better, you can join us live on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, where you can see us stream live every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central. And we stream 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.